Let's begin the class. We had started off with the precautions taken by the banker while he honors the check, right? We discussed last class about who is a paying banker and what are the precautions he's supposed to take. So we discussed the first 4 points: open or cross check. The check must be in a proper form, and the presentment of the check, the date of the check. We understood two concepts here: what is a post dated check and what is a stale check. Let's begin with the next four precautions. The fifth point talks about mutilated check. A check is said to be mutilated when it has been cut or torn, or when a part of it has been missing. Mutilation may either be intentional or accidental. So first understand the word mutilated. Okay, mutilated means the check is been cut, right? The check is, as you can see in the picture on the screen, it is torn at the bottom, right? Such checks cannot be honored. Okay, so the banker has to check whether the check is in a proper presentable format. Okay, you cannot crush the check leaf, you cannot tear it and then put a stapler or a sellotape and attach it and then take to the bank. No, the bank will not honor such check. Got it? So mutilated means the check has been cut, or the check has been torn, or some part of the check has been torn and got missing. Okay, such situation is called as mutilated. Okay, now it can happen accidental, right? Accidentally the check can be torn or the check can be lost, yes, but there are instances where the check can be intentionally also done. Okay, so that it might not be honored by the banker. Got it? So the fifth point is mutilated check. If the check is mutilated, the paying banker will not honor the check or will not pay the amount mentioned in the check. Clear? Let me repeat that. If a check is mutilated, the banker will not honor the check. That is, the banker will not pay the amount mentioned thereby in the check leaf. The sixth one, words and value. The amount of the check should be expressed in both words and value, with which should agree with each other. Okay, so here as you look at the picture bottom, where the amount is written 15,000 only, and in the amount column in terms of value it is written same 15,000. So often it happens that there is a mismatch between these two. Between what? The words and the value. So banker has to be careful so that both he needs to check the words as well as the value are in agreement with each other. Both means the same as you see in the picture. In words also it is 15,000. In value also it is 15,000. Number 7, proper endorsement. Now, checks must be properly endorsed. In case of bearer check, endorsement is not necessarily legal. In case of order check, endorsement is necessary. Now, we all know what is a bearer check and what is a order check. Thoroughly we know that concept. Now, here we are talking about endorsement. What do you mean by endorsement? I'll just tell you a glimpse of it, because next class we'll be studying in detail about endorsement. So now I'll just tell you a glimpse of what is endorsement. Now if A is writing or giving a check to Mr. P, okay, and the amount is rupees 1000, A is giving a check of rupees 1000 to B. Now B has to go get it encashed. But what B does is, B owes money to C. B owes money to C. So B has some balance or some dues left that he has to pay to C. How much amount? Same 1000. So what B does is, instead of he going to the bank and getting the check encashed, he will give the check itself to Mr. C. Can Mr. C go and cash it? No, because Mr. B's name is written on the check. Okay, let me repeat the whole thing. A has given a check to Mr. B of rupees 1000. Now B can go and cash it in the bank, but he does not, okay, because B has to pay some money to Mr. C of the same amount of check, rupees 1000. So instead of B going to the bank and cashing it and then giving the money to C, what he rather does is he gives the check leaf to Mr. C. But the name on the check leaf is who? Not C, but Mr. B. So that's the concept comes into picture now, endorsement. So B endorses the check to Mr. C. That is, at the back of the check, he's going to write pay to the order of Mr. C and puts his signature. So this action or decision is called as endorsement. Clear? So when the paying banker is honoring the check, he has to check whether the endorsement is properly done. Is it a bearer check or is it a order check? Okay, he has to verify that by properly looking into the check. So these are the 7 different precautions to be taken. Another 8th one is called as alteration and overwriting. This commonly happens, right? Especially on the important documents. We write the wrong spelling of our name or initial or the wrong date or the wrong year, right? It happens, right? All those mistakes. So even in terms of check, okay, when you have written something wrong in terms of spelling, date, signature, etc., you tend to alter it. That is, how do you alter it? You overwrite it. Yes or no? So the bank should see whether there is any alterations or overwriting on the check. If any alteration found, then it must be confirmed by the full signature of the drawer. So in case, let's say the date is wrong, or instead of writing this year is 2021, let's say I have written on the check 2020, okay, which is wrong, correct? So what I have to do, I have to correct it or alter it. So I will scratch 2020 and above that I will write 2021. Now what have I done? I have altered the check or I have overwritten the check. So once, it's not just enough I scratch that number and write 2021, but next to that 2021, I need to put my full signature. Clear? I can make alterations in the check provided those alterations are backed up by my signature. Clear? The banker should not honor the check containing material alteration without confirmation of the drawer. So what does that mean? In case I make a changes in the date, but then I do not sign next to it. Yes, I've signed at the bottom of the check as usual, but in case I am making any alterations or overwriting, next to it I have to sign. It is compulsory. In case I make some changes but I do not sign across, then the check is dishonored. Okay, so the banker has to know whoever has written the check, they only have made the alteration, not a third person or not a third party. The person who owns the check has made the necessary alteration. Okay, to confirm that, the person has to sign next to the alteration made. Clear? Only in such case the check will be honored. If you alter the check and if you do not sign next to it, the check does not get honored. So these are the 8 different precautions the paying banker has to keep in mind. Next, we have the statutory protection to the paying banker. So there are, in terms of two things, protection regarding the check. Number one, regular endorsement. Now I just explained to you what is endorsement, correct? So the endorser, that is, if let's say I am writing the check, okay, to Mr. A. I am writing the check to Mr. A. So what I do is add signature and mention the name of the person to whom or to whose order the payment is to be made. Let's go back to the same example I told you before. A has written a check to B worth rupees 1000. Now B, he is endorsing the check. Okay, now he has received the check, so the check belongs to him. But what he does is he endorses it to another third person. How does he do that? Look at the picture bottom. Pay to the order of John Smith. So Mr. B, let's say he endorses that check to John Smith. Okay. So he has to write those words, pay to the order of so and so, the person name and his signature. Got it? So this details has to be mentioned where? Behind the check. Okay. So there is a direction added by the endorsee to the person specified called as the endorsee of the instrument, who now becomes its payee, entitled to sue for the money due on the instrument. So once Mr. B is endorsing the check leaf to John Smith, who becomes the owner of the check now? John. Okay, because the check has transferred its ownership to the name of Mr. John. Mr. John becomes the owner of the check. Now Mr. John can go to the bank and encash the check. Got it? Now once he goes to the bank to encash it, okay, and the bank says there is no sufficient balance in the bank to honor the check in case, then Mr. John can take any kind of legal action upon Mr. B, because it was Mr. B who endorsed the check to Mr. John. Clear? In such regular endorsement, the banker, that is, the paying banker, will receive statutory protection from the RBI. Second part is payment in due course. The check should be paid in due course, that is from the date of presentation of check within 2 to 3 working days. So we all know if we go give the check to the bank, okay, it will take time to process. Okay, maximum 2 to 3 days it will take time to process, because the bank is not just receiving our check, right? The bank will have numerous checks to process every single day, correct? Therefore the payment might take 2 to 3 working days. In case it's a Sunday, it's a government holiday, then those days might be a little bit extended, like 4 to 5 days or so, right? If it's a bank strike, or if there is a holiday, or if there's some festival holiday, government holiday, etc., the number of working days will be extended. The second protection is protection in case of a bearer check. Now, I explained to you what is an order check and what is a bearer check. Now, we all know order check will not be encashed, correct? It will directly, or cross check will directly go to the person's account. Okay? From the account, the person has to withdraw the money. Now here, in case of a bearer check, that means if I write a check in your name, okay, and you lose the check leaf, and somebody else find the check and they go and cash it in the bank, okay, so what happens then is, you are supposed to receive that money, but you lost the check. Okay, so what do? You go back, and because I have given you the check, you'll come to me and tell me I have lost the check leaf. So I will go to the bank and tell them, okay, please do not honor the check number so and so. What will the bank tell? Bank will tell, I have already honored the check. Okay, that is, whoever has found the lost check has immediately gone to the bank and encashed it. Now, whom do you blame? You can blame yourself. That is, you have not crossed the check. As I mentioned earlier, cross check is the safest check format. Okay, bearer check or an open check is always a danger. Now I cannot go tell the banker, see, the person who has a name mentioned in the check leaf is not the person coming to collect the amount of money. Why did you honor the check? Can I blame the banker for that? No, banker is not responsible for a bearer check. So banker will be discharged from any such claims. Okay, so as an account holder, I should be careful about my money dealings. So I should have crossed the check so that my check is safe, so that the money in the check would not go to a third party even in case the check gets lost. Got it? So therefore, it is the account holder's responsibility and not the paying banker's responsibility. So even in case the banker honors the bearer check, the banker will not get blamed, or the banker does not take out any kind of claims from the account holder. Okay? So these are the two types of protections or statutory protections provided to the paying banker. So tomorrow we'll start with what is endorsement and the in detail concept of it, the kinds, the features, etc.